Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is have our text flowing along a nice wave shape. So here we got this wave. It's one of the shape tools. And we have the text flowing along the same way. So it seems to be moving with the little wave shape. So before we do that, before we actually create it, let's just show you some options. So let me take this, and the first thing I'm going to do is duplicate it and just put it end to end. So if I put it to end, you can see we can continue this. We have a nice long streaming banner, and we can do this for as many times as we like. Just put it end to end, and it looks pretty good. Now, because text is flowing with the shape, we can actually retype it. So let's say I want to click here and make it something different. So we have congratulations, let's say on your promotion. So we just type, and the text will take on the same shape. So no matter what you type, it will still flow along with your wave. So you've got the same wave happening to the text as you do to the wave shape itself. Now we could also put this on two lines. So if you'd rather do it like this, put a small soft return, you can have it going something like that. So a lot of different options. Now I'm going to take these two, and let's say you want to make this maybe 3D. So let's go to our text, let's go to our shapes, and let's put a nice little bevel on it. Okay, so we have something like this, and it looks pretty good. Now I'm going to group these, and what I'm going to do is rotate them. You can see that even at 3D, this still looks like the text is flowing with the banner shape. So I'm going to now go to my shape, and I'm going to go to my special effects here, and I'm going to just rotate that. I won't give it a very deep rotation, but I'll do something like that. And you can see that the text still looks like it's flowing. So even at 3D, it still looks like it's undulating with the banner. So you can see that it's flowing quite nicely with the banner. Now perhaps you'd like to create a paper banner. So maybe you want to print these out. Maybe you want to make like a 6-foot long banner. So all you have to do is take one of these. You've already got it set up, and make it the size of the page, however big you want to make it. Okay, so there's your banner. We already know that edge to edge, they're going to be seamless. So what you do now is add some special effects. So maybe you want to put a 3D effect on this. Maybe I'll add a nice little drop shadow effect to it. And we have something like this. So you just print these out, you cut them, you cut their edges here, tape together, and here's your long banner. Now let's say you want to say congratulations on your promotion. So you print a bunch of these out as congratulations, and notice how the text, even with the 3D effect, still looks like it's flowing with the banner just perfectly. You want to change your text, so we'll change it. And you have something like that. So you print maybe 3 or 4 congratulations, 3 or 4 of these on your promotions, cut them, tape them together, and there's your perfect little banner. And you can have a very wide banner. You can put a drop shadow on the banner, so you have a shadow going through. Notice that even with the text changing here, still looks like it's flowing perfectly along the banner. Okay, the next step, of course, is to actually create one. Okay, first things first, we have to draw our wave shape. So let me click here. We have 2 wave shapes to choose from. We have the single wave and the double wave found on their stars and banner. We can do both the same way, but I think what we'll do is just use the single wave. It'll just be a little easier. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to drag a wave shape. So we have something like that. Now you have 2 shape handles. You have a vertical one and you have a horizontal. Now we don't want to mess around with this one because that's going to angle the edges. Now we can still make it work, it's just a little more work. So we don't want to do this. We obviously want to minimize the amount of effort we have to do, but still make it look good. So we're not going to mess around with this one, but we will work with the vertical one. Okay, so the vertical one will give you a really curve. So you go straight to a real curve. Now we do not want a real curve, okay? The text will fit on the real curve here, but in order for the text to really curve like this, it will actually have to be the same height as the banner. And I don't want the text to be the same height. So what I'm going to do is not make such a curve, just bring it up a bit like this, so it's not so curvy. So I'm going to apply the wave to the text, and with the text, I'm going to be able to drag its shape handle down and give it more of a curve. So I need the flexibility in the text to be more curvy than the actual shape itself. So remember, I'm trying to fit the text to the wave shape here. So this is why the wave shape itself needs a little flexibility, and it needs to be not as curvy as the actual text. So I happen to have some text here. I'm going to just make a duplicate of it. I'm going to put it right there. And I'm going to just squeeze the box down here. Now, the next important thing is this. In order to make this work pretty good, the width of the text has to be reasonably close to the width of this shape, okay? If I only use half the text here, it's really not going to fit that well. So what I want is my word art shape to be not quite the width of this banner, but pretty close. So you can see the box is not quite as wide as this, but it's pretty wide. So when I turn this into a word art shape, the word art shape will fit this area right here. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go to Format, Text Effect, Transform, and we have 4 little wave shapes right here. We have 2 for the single and 2 for the double. Okay, now this is the one we want. We don't want this one because it actually curves the other way, as you can see there. So we want the single wave. We're going to choose that one. Okay, so we got that. I'm going to just stretch it up a bit. Okay, now here's your trick. Have you ever tried this before and it didn't quite work? Here it is. All we got to do is put this on the edge of the banner right here. Now, if I can get all the letters to sit perfectly on the top edge of this banner, then I've got the perfect curve. And that's all you got to do. So I need to get these letters to sit there. And this is where I use the little shape handle to drag it down a bit to try to curve it. Okay, I'm going to stretch it down. When you drag the shape handle down, you kind of curve this a bit so it kind of loses a little bit of height. So I'm going to stretch it a little higher. And you see I've got something like this, so I'm going to try straightening it out. And you can see what's happening. Straight out a little more. And it's pretty close. I'm going to stretch it out just a bit more. And so we got something very much like that. And you can see it's, for the most part, the letters are actually sitting on the top. And that's basically what you want. If you can get your letters sit on the top, then you got the perfect curve. And that's a matter of adjusting the shape handle and stretching it out. So again, this is why the shape itself can't have that deep curve, because then you're going to have to match the deep curve, and it's very hard to do that. So here's perfect. So I got that exactly the way I want it. I'm going to drag it down here, and you can see that it is flowing perfectly to this. Okay, so what's going to give it the 3D effect, of course, is the gradient fill. So let's apply the fill to the banner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just borrow this one. I already have one here. So I'm going to click on that, go to my Home tab here, grab my Format Painter, apply a gradient here. So let's take a look and see what we got. Okay, so you can see that I have my gradient tabs already stopped. All I'm using here is a red color. So everything here is red. So I have light red to dark red. So to make a dark red, all I do is click on a light red. I go here, go to more colors, and I go to custom, and I just make it darker. That's all I've done. So I'm using one color and just making it darker. So what you have to decide here when you're doing this is you have to decide where the bright areas are, where the dark areas are. So obviously if this banner is curving up, it's going to be brighter. If it's curving down, it's going to be darker. So you make these decisions, and usually you can just tell by the way this banner is waving where the bright and dark areas are. And that's all that reflects here. So you can see the bright red is here, the dark red is to the edge. You can see I got a dark red here, I've got a bright red here. And that's it. So it gives me that nice little wave look. Now, what's important, of course, is the text has to reflect the same thing. The text has to have the same bright and dark areas. And this is the beauty, and this is how it all works. I'm going to make the text a gold color like this. But what I'm going to do is actually apply the same red gradient to this. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So first things first, when you apply a gradient to an object, PowerPoint always remembers that. So now I'm going to click on my text, and I'm going to go to my text options. I'm going to apply gradient, and you'll see it applies the same red gradient. Now, obviously, I want gold, not red, but this is what I need. I need the same range of dark to light areas. So all these tabs are exactly the same. The light tabs are positioned right, and the dark tabs, just like they are here. All I have to do is switch the colors. So I'm going to go here, going to go to a dark gold, going to go here, go to a lighter gold, and all I'm doing is replacing these with the dark or light of that color. And what it does is match the red perfectly. And we got that. The trick is you apply the same gradient to the text, and you just change the colors. That's all you got to do. You keep the light, the dark areas, and there it is. It's a perfect match. Okay, next step. Let's say you want to make more of a streaming banner. You want this duplicated and repeated. Well, that's pretty simple. But the main thing is this: if you're going to repeat this banner over and over, this is very important. The first color and the last color must be identical. If there's any gradient difference between the first and last, when you line them up, you're going to notice that edge. So as long as the first color and the last is exactly the same, then these will be perfectly blended. So let's do that. Let me select this. I'm going to make a perfect duplicate, line it up, touch the edges, and there it is. So what you have is a perfect blending. And you can keep this going as long as you like. Once we have our nice word art wrapped to the banner the way we like it, we can change the text. So let's say, once again, I want to say in this one, congratulations on your promotion. There it is. Now you notice the text wrapped. So you got a choice here. I kind of like that, but you may not want the text to wrap. It's up to you. So that depends on how wide the box is. By default, the text always wraps in the box, but that feature can be turned off. So I'm going to go to my text options, go to my text box, and right here. So if I don't want my text to wrap, I'm going to uncheck that, and you have that. So it depends on whether you want text wrapping or no text wrapping. Which way does it look better to you? For now, I'll just leave it like that. And again, you can just duplicate that and keep it going as long as you want. Now you might want to apply some nice special effects to this. So let me click on the text. Maybe you would like to, let's see, put a nice drop shadow. So let's put a nice drop shadow, and we have a nice drop shadow. And you can see that it still looks like it's undulating with the banner. So it's perfectly matched. So let's put a 3D effect in there. So let's go here, and let's put a simple little 3D effect. I'm going to just take this down a bit. Okay, so we have a 3D effect. And if you take a look, you can see even with the 3D effect, it still looks like it's flowing with the banner. Let me take this, let me group it, and let me rotate it. So maybe you want to rotate it. Go to my shape options. Let's go down here. Something like that. And look, it still looks like it's flowing or undulating with the banner. Perfect. So I'm going to just stretch this out a bit. And you can see that it still flows with this quite nicely. And maybe I'll just for fun give it a rotation. And you can see it still works good. So even at a large size, this still works great. There's your text wrapping around a banner. So we hope you enjoyed the second part of how to get text to wrap around an object. And if you did, try to catch our other video. So thank you for watching, and we hope to catch you on our next video.